Well, Carson and I might be the two biggest believers in the world in this season's Kentucky basketball team. We're going to talk about some concerns that folks have with this team and try and disprove them on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI. Joined, as always, by Carson Nash. Carson, you're sitting outside today. You're getting ready to head down to North Carolina for a little family trip to Lake Norman. That's pretty exciting stuff there.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. We get to go see our family friends, and Lake Norman's going to be a hell of a time, especially for the 4th of July. They go crazy down there, and, I'll be dabbling in some Sprites.
Yeah, we will be doing the same here, partaking in some cold Sprites. They're best cold, I've always heard. Room temperature Sprites, you want them ice cold. That does the job much better. So hope everyone's going to have a great 4th of July. Got some fun stuff going on. Hopefully every listener here at Wildcats Today has both hands on Monday. Be smart with fireworks. They can hurt you.
Top 5 athlete of all time, Joey Chestnut's going at it again.
Yeah. Mike and I have been talking about the angle to bet that. And, it's like, you don't want to bet him to win. You want to bet the over on hot dogs eaten. And if I'm betting on Joey Chestnut, baby, you're taking the over every single time. So I advise you to do the same. That dude's the GOAT. He'll be doing this till he's 90 and winning. That dude's a monster. That's a real American athlete right there.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about some concerns for this team, and we're going to try and disprove them. I mean, once again, we would be crazy to not sit here and act like there are some things to be a little bit concerned about with this team. But we're going to try our best today to convince y'all why we shouldn't be concerned about it. We've got 4 of them. And Carson, let it fly. What's your first one you want to break down today?
Yeah, I feel like the first one, the glaring one, is we've talked about it a lot on this channel, but Jaylen Lowe's efficiency and him being a star point guard for us, it has to be the case for us to get to the level of play that we want to be at.
I agree with you. And something that was brought up on KSR that I thought was a great point that I really it's a great talking point for this team, and I agree with him on this. But I do think that the ceiling of this basketball team, you and I have talked about this a little bit, Carson. We brought this up, but if Jaylen Lowe is good, if he's just good, we're a top 15 team. I think if he's bad, I think that's when concerns fly, and I still think we're a top 25 team. If he's elite, that is when we're a top 5, maybe the best team in college basketball type of team. And this has been, once again, every other fan base is trying to use Jaylen Lowe's shooting percentages from last year at Pitt as a reason why he's not going to be successful this year. And I'll tell you one thing, Mark Pope, not just to Jaylen Lowe, it's been very clear to this entire team that this has been brought up, because I've heard multiple players in these interviews they've done every week that we've been doing with a couple players. Every single time there are one of the players, when asked about Jaylen Lowe, says, yeah, I know that the shooting percentages last year might not have been the best in the world, but I'm just telling y'all, this kid can shoot it, and he's going to be a stud. And Mark Pope, and I loved that he came out with the stats, baby. He threw them at you. When his press conference a month and a half ago maybe came out and talked about how Lowe was, like, when it came to contested tough shots, was taking one of the highest percentages, if not the highest percentage, in all of college basketball last season. That Pitt offense, if you go back and watch some of their games, the offense is what I call non-existent. Well, the offense is what I call Jaylen Lowe. He was the offense. It was
pitiful.
That's really good. That's clever. That's a good way to start the Thursday. That was clever there. But it was rough. It was rough. It was not good offense. It was pitiful. I agree with you. And Lowe had to do what he could to put that team on his back and try and win some basketball games. And they weren't successful often, but he is a good shooter. We saw that in some of these NBA summer draft things that when he went through the process. This kid can play. And we've got to understand that in the Mark Pope offense, the ball moves around more than he'll have ever seen in his basketball career. He is going to be shooting open shots. And honestly, yes, he's going to shoot a contested shot or two this year. It's going to happen some. And when he does, hell, he has a lot of practice doing it. But I think that the answer to why I'm not concerned about Jaylen Lowe, or why I believe that maybe we shouldn't be as concerned as we are, is because of how different this is going to be. And Coach Pope, like I said, that's one thing he said. He's going to take shots where he's going to go, man, you're allowed to shoot without a dude putting two hands in your face. I didn't know you were allowed to do that. He's going to have his eyes opened to the game of basketball in this system. And that's a big reason why I think he's going to be successful this season.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the early practice reports have been that he's been a standout and possibly the best player out there so far. So that's really good to hear. And that's what you need out of a point guard, that you're expecting to bring a lot of tenacity and scoring and everything to the table. And it's only going to help our offense the better he gets. So it's going to be fun to watch with him out there.
It really is. And he's quick. And I mean, talking about, it's tough to compare Lamont Butler and Jaylen Lowe. Lamont Butler, to me, is one of the last of the old version of point guards. He's a guy that's not out there trying to score 20 points a game. He's trying to give you 10 points, trying to give you 5 assists, and he's trying to play elite lockdown defense. Trying to be a real, Steph Curry. I think that's back-to-back Steph Curry roast. Didn't we roast Steph Curry on Tuesday? Or was that a conversation I had with somebody else?
I'm not sure.
I think we did. But Steph Curry has changed. That was either a conversation on the phone.
Oh, yeah, it was. We did. We did talk about Steph Curry.
Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball to where point guards are shooting the rock, and they're shooting it from deep, and they're shooting it often. And Lowe is a new version of a point guard. But I think that, honestly, if you can find a happy median between what Lowe was last year and what Lamont Butler was last year. And I mean, Lowe got some steals last year, man. I mean, he's not the on-ball defender. He's got quick hands. He's not the on-ball defender that Lamont Butler is, but he's not a slouch on defense. He's a fine defender. If he can give us some scoring and passing at a little bit of a higher level than Lamont Butler and still give us some solid defense, I think it's going to be an upgrade over Lamont Butler. And we all know how good he was for us last year. When he was on the court, he was great. So I think that Lowe is going to prove the haters wrong this year. And I think it's all thanks to Mark Pope. I don't think it's necessarily due. If he was back at Pitt, he'd put up the same numbers. Maybe he'd shoot a little better from the field, but he'd put up the same numbers because he'd have to. He's not going to have to do that here, Carson.
And I think this goes hand in hand with the second thing I wanted to talk about, which is 3-point shooting, because I think some people are a little questionable because we were really good at 3-point shooting last year. They're a little questionable about this team's 3-point shooting. But I think Lowe goes hand in hand with that because I think he's going to be much better than Lamont at getting to the rim and getting in the paint and then being able to disperse out of the paint to open shots, which will only open our offense and allow us to get, like you were saying, much better looks. I mean, last year we were not the most athletic team and we couldn't really get to the rim at will. So it was a lot harder for our players to get open looks, and it was kind of like creating off the screens and off the bounce more than it was passing around and getting open shots. So I think Lowe being able to distribute in the paint, Ortega is going to be able to get to the rim. Aberdeen will be able to get to the rim. And then you kick it out. If it's Lowe, kick it out to Aberdeen, who's 99th catch and shoot percentile, out to Cam Williams, who's 99th catch and shoot percentile. I mean, you got a lot of shooters on this team. So, and even like the best defender on this team, in my opinion, Mo D, he shot 46%. I know it was only on 26 attempts, but I mean, you got a chance for him to tap into that game and make us even more ridiculous than we already are.
No, I mean, you're exactly right there. But I mean, and we'll get to the 3-point shooting. That's one of our big, concerns. But I mean, just to go back to Lowe a little bit too within this conversation, I think that people got to understand that Coach Pope talks to his play. Coach Pope is going to be in his behind saying, listen, we are not shooting the ball 15 times a game here. I mean, Lowe, I believe it was 14.2 field goal attempts per contest last year at Pitt. I bet he shoots the ball 8 times a game this year, around there, in that 7 to 8 range. That'd be my guess. It's similar to where Butler was last year. And I think with better looks, I mean, do I think he's going to shoot 54% from the field? No. But do I think that he's going to be in the mid 40s, like 43, 44%? Yeah, I think he's going to get his 3-point percentage up over 35. I mean, in the dream world, he shoots 40 from 3 and like 47 from the field. That's a dream world. I think that's asking a little much. But I think realistically, he can shoot 43, 44% from the field and shoot 37, 38% from three.
I was going to
He's got
say
that,
43, 37, and 90 is my.
And he's a great free throw shooter. And people don't,
Mhm.
people talk about his shooting splits. You can't really talk about his shooting splits because he's an elite free throw shooter. And I'll tell you, that is something that you absolutely love to have as your main ball handler. Obviously, we have our, our point forward.
Huge in March.
Yes, you need your guys to be able to make free throws. Because Lamont Butler was not a lockdown free throw shooter. Otega Owe, not a lockdown. Obviously, he took his percentage up significantly last year, but not a knockdown free throw shooter. Jaylen Lowe, you get that ball into him, you foul him, he's making 2 every single time. It's like back in the day when we had Reed Shepard and he went to the free throw line, and it doesn't matter the situation, he's making them both.
Same with Emmanuel Quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, just great free throw shooters, and that stuff matters in ball games, and that stuff matters in March. But Lowe, I think, is going to – it's fair to be concerned about Lowe. It's fair. We're not saying that it's not a fair concern to have for Jaylen Lowe. But all signs, and the staff knows this, and they're trying to fix this via getting him implemented quickly into this system. So I think that Mark Pope's system, with him being more reserved, shooting the basketball and taking better looks – getting to the rim, getting fouled, he's going to be more efficient, and he's going to have a great season. He's not going to average 16 points a game. He's probably going to average 10 to 12. But he's going to average 5 or 6 assists, and he's going to average a couple steals, and he's going to give you a few rebounds, and that's all you can ask for out of him. That's all you want, because once again, this system, your point guard doesn't need to score 18 points a game for us to be successful. He needs to be able to disperse the ball when we're not, when he's taking it to the rim, kick it out to shooters. And I think Lowe can do all of that at a high level.
Yeah.
But Carson, you hinted at our next topic of conversation with this team, which is 3-point shooting. This one, to me, frankly, and I've seen, I wrote an article actually about this 2 days ago, and I had 3 concerns. 3 we'll talk about today. I didn't list 3-point shooting. I am not as concerned as some, but there are some that are really concerned with 3-point shooting on this team. And I'm just not seeing it, Carson. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Are you genuinely concerned?
No. And like I said, I think the physical ability to get to the rim and in the lane is going to help us there sure up any sort of deficiencies that we have, because we're going to be taking open looks all day. And we got guys that could kill you in every single aspect. Like I said, Aberdeen, Williams, even Mo Diabate when he's set. You got Lowe, who's going to be a good shooter. You've got guys that are going to come in and just knock down threes. And Lowe said that Trent Noah was the best shooter he's ever seen.
I'm going to list the players. We'll put them in categories, okay? We're going to put their plus shooters, they can shoot, and they're not great shooters, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say a player, Carson, and let's put him in a category. Let's start with Lowe. I think he floats between the plus. I believe he's a plus shooter. I know the percentages are bad. But I think, to be fair to that shooting percentage, I think we should put him in. He's an okay, good shooter. You cool with that?
I'm going to go ahead and put him in the plus category so I can get ahead of this argument and look smart when the season starts.
I respect it because I want to agree with you. I agree. I do. I'm with you. So I like your take there. I'm going to go ahead and just say 3 names because I know where you're going to put them.
Yeah.
Jasper, Denzel Aberdeen, Cam Williams.
Yeah, all plus shooters. They're knockdown. They're snipers.
Colin Chandler.
I'd say good shooter. I'd say he's a little bit streaky. It'll depend on the game.
Okay. I agree there. All right, let's head into the front court here. Let's go Yelovich.
Yelovich, I say good shooter.
Mo D.
Mo D, I'm going to go good shooter again. I think his percentages show that he's a good, capable enough shooter when he's open.
You have to respect it when he's out there.
Yeah.
Brandon Garrison.
I think bad to good, like in the middle, floating between those two. I don't love his attempts, but I'm not going to get mad at it.
Hopefully he takes a step up to good this offseason.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I forgot, but Otega, where are we putting him? That's interesting.
I'd say, I mean, based
Percentage
off
was good.
percentages, I'd say good. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
good shooter.
And we've been clear about it. He's working on that hitch. I mean, he's trying to
Mhm.
fix that hitch actively. So I agree with you. I would also put him in good. And then give me these three guys: JQ, Potter, Moreno. We'll throw Hawthorne in there. Where would you put those four guys?
JQ is bad, but I'm hoping he could take a step up in that category because I think that unlocks a monster if he can start knocking down open threes. I'd say Potter is a good shooter. I
I'd
think
put him
when he's
plus
open,
almost. I'd almost put him plus.
yeah, he's pretty knocked down when it comes to being open. I think Hawthorne is a good to plus shooter as well. I think he's going to be a freak someday. I'm excited for him. And then Moreno's probably with Brandon Garrison in that
I agree.
same
I was going to say the same thing. I agree with that. I was going to put him in that floating between bad and good. I agree with you. And that right there is what I'm talking about. There is nobody on this team that I'm going to go, no, when they're shooting three, except for probably JQ. And I'm not even going to say it about Garrison right now. Now, he might prove me wrong in the beginning of the season, but I'm not going to put – last year, Brandon Garrison, at the beginning of the year, was on the what the hell are we doing list when he shot a three. And then
I'll never forget the time that he took it coast to coast against Alabama whenever we were at the Burrow. We were like,
yeah,
damn it.
Yeah, that was crazy. But so I mean, Yelovich, I think that he's got I think personally, I'd put him floating between the good, the plus. I'd put him floating there. I think because he's a good shooter with a chance to be a plus shooter. But this is our point. I mean, everybody on this team can shoot the three ball. I think that our team percentage, like last year, is going to be really, really good. Now, the only thing that it's still to be seen for me with this team, Carson, is there's a lot of folks saying that Mark Pope wants to shoot 30 plus threes. He wants to. Last year he didn't. I believe the number was at 26. I don't know if we get to 30 this year. I think Pope will tell you he wants to. But I don't know, just because, I mean, you got to think a lot of our scoring is going to be Owe taking it to the basket. JQ around the rim. Lowe's going to get to the rim. And then, Cam Williams and Lowe and Aberdeen are going to be shooting the ball well from outside. Jasper, these guys are going to be shooting the ball. But I just think we're going to score in the paint a lot more than people are. I think people look at Kentucky as a 3-point team. And I think this year we're going to rely on that a lot less. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I still think we're going to shoot it top 50 attempts in college basketball. Like when you look at the teams that shoot 50 most, we'll be in the top 50. But I don't think we'll be in the top 10. And I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you because I think a lot of our opportunities are going to come off of transition baskets. So I think we're going to get a lot of easy points just based off of forcing the other team to turn it over because we're going to be so good defensively, so long and athletic that we're going to get a lot of runouts. And whether that be 3-pointers on transition, which Pope does like, or just easy baskets, I think the defense to offense is going to be a lot more fun than it was last year because it was mostly just offense.
No, exactly. And now, hey, if y'all have any concerns that we haven't talked about, no, I'll just go ahead and tell you all this now. Listen to the rest because we're going to give you 2 more. But leave in the comments a concern that if y'all have one that maybe we haven't talked about, and we can perhaps have that be a show down the road. So leave a concern. And hey, if you haven't and you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that. But if you got a concern, listen to the rest of us here. And then if we didn't talk about your concern, let us know in the comments. And we can talk about it, and we can talk, but maybe do another show about it. So let us know that in the YouTube comments. But so shooting to me, Carson, I'm not concerned about it. Like Lowe, I have my concerns. I'm not going to sit here and act like I have my fair share of concerns. I'm not concerned about a 3-point shooting. I'm just not, because I also think that Mark Pope is not going to tell you that he doesn't want to shoot the ball. And I'm not saying he doesn't want to shoot the ball as much, but I'm just telling you, no one be surprised when we shoot. No one should be surprised when we have 33 attempts per game, and no one should be surprised when we have 25. I think it could go either which direction, but if I were to guess right now, I think we'd have around 26 because like we just talked about, I think we're going to get to the rim more than we did last year because of the players we got. I think we're going to rely more on JQ being a beast down low, and Ortega's going to be the best player in college basketball at finishing around the rim. I mean, we're going to score a lot of points in the paint. And I think our offensive rebounding is going to be better. Now, also, you got to remember, offensive rebounds create the best opportunities for open threes, but we could get a lot of cleanup baskets from offensive rebounds, knowing our offensive rebounding is going to be better as well. But, Carson, I'm just not concerned about a three-point shooting. I'm just not.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that's going to be an issue of ours.
Yeah, and some people believe it is, but I'm not one of those people. And Carson, it sounds like you agree with me. So the next one that I've got here, Carson, is, and this one won't be as long of a conversation before we get to our last big one, but the JQ injury. I think there's two types of Kentucky fans right now when it comes to the injury to JQ. There's the he's fine, he'll be suited up game one. And then there's the we'll be lucky if he's back for SEC play. I sit in the middle of those two arguments. I don't think he's ready for game one. And I think even if he is, he's going to play 5-10 minutes. I think that he's going to be ready. I think he'll miss the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season. I think he'll miss the first 5, 6, 7 games, whatever. That's how, that's what's going to happen is my guess. These injuries are not to be played around with. And I'll just tell you this right now. If it means we get 100% healthy JQ for the start of SEC play, I don't care if he misses the first month of the season. I don't care if it means he's going to be healthy. Now, I want him to play 5 games before SEC, 5 or more games before SEC play starts. I do not want him rocking and rolling first game of the year against an SEC opponent. I mean, especially remember last year, Florida came to town first SEC game. Wouldn't love that. Wouldn't love JQ's first game being against an SEC opponent. I would like him to get his feet wet a little bit before we dive into SEC play. But so what's your guess on the timetable there, Carson?
Yeah, I'd say he tries his hardest to make it back by the Louisville game, but I don't think that's the case. I'd say it's probably the week after that game.
Yeah,
is when he starts playing, because I think he is a little ahead of schedule when it comes to rehab, but I also don't think they're going to force it and put him in action before they want to actually put him in action. So, I mean, he's young. He's going to heal fast. I think we'll get him back to 100% full strength, but I also think the coaches are going to be cautious in that aspect.
Yeah, I agree with you. There. So that's one. If we got any sports doctors here listening, what are we thinking about the JQ injury? What's the timetable? The surgery was on, I just looked it up, was on March 19th. So that would put, so what's our technical here? Let's look this up. What's the date of our first game of the season is, according to, why is the top thing to pull up for this not the roster? Okay, there it is. Our first game of the year, according to this, that exhibition is on October 24th. Okay, so that's the exhibition. The first actual game of the season, according to this, is the Louisville game. Now, I don't believe that happens. I bet we play because we still have a couple more of the small schools to add.
Wouldn't the Classic or whatever be the first game?
That's on the 18th. Louisville's on the 11th.
Dang.
So
I can't believe they got that changed.
Yeah, I know. But let's do some math here. So March 19th. So to April 19th is 1 month. May 19th is 2 months. June 19th is 3 months. July 19th is 4 months. August 19th is 5 months. September 19th is 6 months. October 19th is 7 months. Am I right about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So, I mean, he's going to be, in that between that 7 to 8 month range, close to about 8 months when we play Louisville. I mean, that's the reality here, right? 1, 2. Yeah. I mean, these injuries, once again, modern medicine has helped a little bit. It used to be this was a year-long thing. And then even when you come back, you're still in a tough spot. So he'll be about 8 months, but I mean, to me, it's getting healthy by January 1st, which is when I assume that's when our first game of SEC play was last year. We'll see if that is the case.
No, it was on the 3rd.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so early January is when we want to be healthy. That is, yeah, you're right. Now I'm thinking about this. We want to be healthy by
because it was Jake's 21st birthday. That's how I remember it.
Yes, I do remember that now. I remember, yeah, because you all had because that game was like an 11er, and you all had a big day.
Oh, it was probably the best day of the whole year.
Yeah, I remember that now. But so that is the timetable I think you need to be looking for JQ. So let us know how long do y'all think he misses. How many games does he miss? And then Carson, what is our last concern we want to try and disprove today?
I don't know. I am blanking now.
It's for me, and this is a big one for me.
There's not a lot of concerns.
Bang. There aren't, but the one I've got is the backup point guard position. And you got to hear me out. This is going to be the one I think people are going to yell. Hear me out. For me, we have a lot of combo guards behind Jaylen Lowe. Jasper Johnson, Colin Chandler, Denzel Aberdeen. These guys are combo guards. They can play the 2. They can play the 1. But there's something about just having played the natural 1 your whole life. And Aberdeen can play the 1, and that's where this conversation is going to go. I'll just tell you that right now. I think he's going to win that job. He's the guy that I think can do it. And I think he can do it at a pretty high level. But that's just my thought is, I don't – losing a Caden Lewis I was a little more frustrated, I think, than most, simply because I'm going – I really wish we had a full natural. This kid is a point guard. Aberdeen played some 1 last year. I mean, he's played some 2. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of different things. He can do it. But that is my concern. And then, I mean, just knowing the luck we've had with injuries, if someone gets banged up and misses a game, we're right back to where we were last year, to where we're damn thin at the point guard position. So that is a concern for me. But the way I did to disprove it for myself is Aberdeen being lights out. So what are your thoughts on that, Carson?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to talk about. But in my opinion, I would also way rather have Aberdeen than Lewis. I mean, you're talking about 6'1" freshman to 6'5" senior who won a national championship. But I think Aberdeen's going to shore up those question marks. But if not, I think Colin Chandler's capable enough of having the reins, or even Jasper Johnson at times could come in and run the point. Because I think in Pope's system, you don't necessarily need a 1 guard, right? I mean, there was times last year where Jax looked like the best point guard on the team, and he's not a point guard. And same with Amari Williams. I mean, he was running point guard like half the time out there. So whenever you get in the half court in your sets, it's mostly the bigs that facilitate the offense for Mark Pope. So if we ever get into that situation, I genuinely think Aberdeen can shore up that second spot. But I think if not, then you're talking about facilitating the offense through Mo D, who's like 95th percentile in the pick and roll. Like you got other guys that can kind of run a half court offense that it's not going to take a giant step back for that backup point guard position.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on everything you just said. I like the take on taking Aberdeen over Lewis, and I don't disagree. There's something about being a natural point guard. And I mean, once again, yes, Aberdeen's done it. He's played it. I'm just saying, I think we're thin there. I think we're thin, and we got to stay healthy there. That's a key, but we're a little I would like to have had Lewis, because hell, Aberdeen could have still beat him out. But then if we're a little, if someone's banged up, has got, a little turned ankle, they're going to miss a game or 2. We've got more backup. I feel like we're a little thin there. I think we got a lot of 2 guards and not a lot of 1s, and that's a little concerning to me. But it's not the end of the world. I'll say that it's not the end of the world. I think it's going to be fine. It's just something to monitor.
And I think, Pope knows that as well. So he's trying to develop these players into backup point guards as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. So that's all I got concern-wise, Carson. I mean, I think those are the only concerns you can really have for this team. I mean, I don't know, genuinely, like I've thought long and hard about, I don't know what else you can be concerned about with this basketball team. I just don't know.
I don't have a Kentucky concern, but I have a concern for the beers that are going to be consumed this weekend.
I mean, we're drinking for America, man, and you got to go strong at that.
Yeah.
I mean that, that's, you got to. So we will we will be partaking in that. So any other thoughts, Carson, before you get on the road, head to North Carolina?
That's all I got. Hope everyone has a happy 4th, freedom, baby.
Yep. Have a great 4th of July, everybody. Like we said, if you got a concern that we didn't discuss today, leave in the comments. We'd like to hear them. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We'd appreciate that. Hit that like button. All that helps us out. Have a great 4th of July, and we will see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.